So do you guys have any particular kind of like an ethos or a particular approach in the way you go about winemaking, which would maybe be unique to you, or any certain things that you stand up believe in?
Yeah, well, I think probably the first and foremost one is the fact we're an organic vineyard. We converted in 2009, so we've actually been certified now for 10 years. Good news is that organics are on the up and up in the French wine industry, but in 2009 there were not very many people. Why do we do that? Well, certainly from being a doctor, I'm very aware of the side effects of chemicals that can be used in agriculture. And also we live in the vineyard. I've got 3 kids who've all grown up there, so I wanted to minimise their exposure to anything that could be potentially unhealthy. And of course, finally, for the consumer, if you drink a bottle of Château wine, then you know that there aren't any pesticides or any fungicides in there, which from a health concept is a better thing in my view.
Do you feel that there's an awareness in the wine industry then for vineyards to move to organic practices?
There's certainly an awareness to move away from the very traditional viticulture, which was using a lot of chemicals. Mm-hmm. I think to convert to organics isn't easy, and you have to change a lot of your practices. Whether or not the majority will be organic in 10 years' time, I'm not sure, but certainly the majority will have improved their environmental footprint.
So in layman's terms, I guess,
yeah.
So for those consumers who wouldn't necessarily know what it takes to have organic classification, what's the process that you as a winemaker have to go through and I guess prove?
Okay, so the first 3 years when you convert from traditional agriculture or viticulture to organics, you're in a state of conversion. Mm-hmm. So at that stage, you can't call your wine organic wine. So it really takes 3 years before we can put the labelling that we are an organic certified vineyard. And in that 3 years, the theory is that you basically let all the chemicals that were used previously disappear from the land and your vines. What does organics mean in terms of the actual viticulture? Well, we're not allowed to use any weed killers. I mean, the classic one at the moment is obviously Roundup, which is used quite a lot in agriculture. So we can't use any chemical weed killers. So to get rid of grass around the vines, we use all mechanical machines. Mm-hmm. So we can't use any weed killers, we can't use any insecticides. So if you walk through our vineyard, we're full of bees and flies and insects, which is a very positive thing for the environment. We can't use any fungicides, so we can't use any sprays to combat rot in the vineyard. The only thing that we are allowed to use is sulfur-based products, which are contact only, so there's no systemic input into the vine.
So it sounds like a more hands-on process then?
It is much more hands-on, and that really is one of the constraints of organic viticulture, is that you do need to be a lot more hands-on in your vineyard. And it's a bit like being a good gardener. You know, if you want a beautiful garden, you've got to be in there the whole time. Exactly the same with organics.
I agree with that.
Is he? Right. So probably his garden is much nicer since he's been retired.
Yeah, definitely is. It's his pride and joy, that's for sure.